Hola, ¿qué tal? Los invito a que se queden con nosotros en estos próximos minutos. Te voy a decir que si tú tienes un negocio chiquito, mediano o grande, esta información que te vamos a dar va a ser una información muy importante para hacer crecer tu negocio, para hacer que tu negocio empiece a prosperar. Eso es importante. Nosotros aquí en el Valle habemos más de 1.4 millones de personas. Queremos alcanzar tu negocio, queremos que nos escuches. Esta información es muy, muy importante. Quédate aquí con nosotros. Déjame decirte que si tú tienes un puestecito chiquito ahí en La Pulga, por ejemplo, o tienes un negocio que lo manejas desde tu propia casa, o sabes que ya tienes tú una compañía de, por ejemplo, de electricidad, de plomería, pones cámaras, tienes un restaurante, tienes una taquería, tienes tipo de negocios medianos, chiquitos, home-based business, ¿verdad? De negocios. Esta información es súper importante. Yo me llamo Roberto Saldívar y trabajamos nosotros aquí en McAllen localmente y trabajamos en todo el valle, desde lo que es Bronzeville hasta lo que es Laredo. ¿Qué es lo que hacemos? Ayudamos a preparar a tu negocio. Primeramente, déjame decirte los programas que tenemos y te voy a dar información que te va a ayudar a ti a saber qué hacer. Mira, primero, antes que nada, déjame preguntarte, si tú eres un negocio que tú tienes empleados o has tenido empleados, un home health care, una clínica, una área de oficina de dentista, por ejemplo, cosas así, y tú tuviste o tienes empleados en el 2019, 2020, 2021, con eso de la pandemia que llegó y hubo problemas y tú retuviste a tus empleados. A tus empleados tú les pagas con la W2. Al final del año tú le das la W2. Tú eres candidato para recibir dinero gratis del gobierno. Déjame decirte eso. Hasta $26,000 por cada empleado que haya sostenido durante ese periodo, porque ellos no tuvieron que pedir unemployment, tú los sostuviste. Entonces queremos precalificarte, queremos ayudarte a saber si tú eres un buen candidato. Tenemos algunos negocios que tienen 10 empleados y pudieron calificar para $260,000 dinero gratis. No lo tienes que regresar, es un crédito de parte del gobierno que te lo dan. Otro negocio que tuvimos que tenía 100 empleados, $2.6 millones fueron otorgados a este negocio porque dijo, atravesó la pandemia, no los despidió y no tuvieron que ir a pedir unemployment, ¿ok? Entonces hay muchos negocios que fueron afectados de esa forma en esos tiempos. Déjame decirte que si tú eres ese tipo de negocios, necesitamos que nos marques, que nos mandes un mensaje a este número que está en pantalla, ahí al 956-309-2871. Te vamos a ayudar a precalificar para este programa. Si tú eres un negocio que tiene que ha tenido empleados, un home health, una clínica, dentista, todo eso son las personas, un área de electricidad, una compañía de electricidad que tiene 10 empleados, 20 empleados, 50 empleados, cosas así. Tú tienes acceso a tener dinero gratis. Bueno, digamos que tú eres un negocio que no tiene empleados, que tú eres la única persona, o que tú tienes gente que trabaja contigo pero les estás pagando $10.99. ¿Ok? ¿Qué podemos hacer ahí contigo para ti? Bueno, te podemos dar acceso para que crezca tu negocio. Te podemos dar acceso a dinero, a capital, a líneas de crédito. Muchos de los negocios aquí en el Valle están sufriendo mucho porque necesitan más capital. Andan pidiendo préstamos para poder expandir su negocio, para poder comprar más mercancía, para poder contratar a personas que les ayuden. Entonces, es bien importante que tenga tu negocio acceso acceso a capital. Lo primero que tienes que hacer es marcarnos al 956-309-2871. Mándanos un WhatsApp. Queremos hacer una cita contigo. Queremos ayudarte a que sepas qué necesitas hacer para tener acceso a capital, a dinero, a líneas de crédito. Hay gente que está pidiendo solamente $25,000. Hay gente que está pidiendo $50,000. ¿Ok? Hay gente que necesita más dinero y te podemos ayudar a obtener más dinero, acceso a capital, a líneas de crédito. ¿Qué significa las líneas de crédito? Significa tarjetas de crédito. Posiblemente tú tengas una compañía de transporte, por ejemplo, y tú dices, bueno, yo necesito ir pagando el diésel, ¿verdad? Y necesito darles una tarjeta a mis empleados que se lleven el tráiler y llenen de diésel. Bueno, podemos tener acceso a tarjetas de crédito para que compren el diésel, por ejemplo. ¿Y qué te parece esto? Que tengas puntos, que te dé puntos la tarjeta, que es lo mismo que cash, y que estés en un año acumulando miles y miles de dólares para tus vacaciones. ¿Qué te parece eso? Podemos ayudarte. Si tú estás usando tu tarjeta de débito, tu cuenta de banco para hacer todos esos gastos, no estás tomando ventaja del maximizar cómo puede trabajar tu negocio y ganar dinero y a tener acceso a más dinero. Imagínate eso, poder tener acceso para que compres más camiones. Acabamos de hacer préstamos a una compañía de clínica, de dentista, de $500,000, $496,000. Otra compañía de transportes, $500,000. Otra compañía de transportes, $2 millones. Entonces sí te podemos ayudar. Necesitamos que nos marques y que nos mandes un WhatsApp al 956-309-2871. Déjame decirte o darte un poquito de información. ¿Qué tan importante es que tú tengas tu negocio estructurado bien? Hay muchos negocios chiquitos que empiezan, home-based businesses que empiezan vendiendo platos, teniendo un negocito en la pulga, todo eso. Es bien importante cuando empiezas, usualmente lo empiezas estructurado como una DBA o Doing Business As o como una Sole Proprietorship. ¿Ok? Está bien empezar así, de esa forma, pero si tú ya vas progresando y tú ves la necesidad de expandir tu negocio, de tener acceso a capital, de tener acceso a líneas de crédito, a comprar otro tráiler y todo eso, equipo de dentista, todo eso, bueno, necesitamos ayudarte a estructurar tu negocio, a que tengas por lo menos una LLC. Una LLC es bien importante para tu negocio porque abre las puertas de el acceso a líneas de crédito, acceso a más dinero para tu negocio. Te recomendamos eso. Entonces, si tú necesitas estructurar tu negocio de esa forma, nosotros te podemos ayudar. Nosotros te podemos a estructurar tu negocio de una forma que tengas acceso a futuro dinero, a futuro líneas de crédito. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que tienes que hacer? Pues nos marcas, mándanos un WhatsApp al 309-2871, Business WhatsApp. Te vamos a hacer una cita, ya sea por Zoom, ya sea por teléfono o ya sea en persona en nuestras oficinas locales aquí en McAllen. ¿Ok? Entonces, ¿qué es lo que queremos hacer para ti? Bueno, queremos fortalecer tu negocio, queremos ayudarte a que tu negocio crezca. Tenemos iglesias que quieren fondos para construir sus propias iglesias. Imagínate eso. Nosotros también podemos ayudarte a estructurar tu iglesia para que esté lista para recibir fondos. ¿Ok? Es bien importante. Parte de la estructura es la LLC, es la Non-Profit Organization, ¿verdad? La 501C3. Todo eso, ¿verdad? Pero es bien importante saber cómo trabajar con tus impuestos, con tus taxes. Es bien importante porque, mira, tenemos muchos negocios de los que hemos estado hablando con ellos. Y una de las cosas principales que ellos hacen es lo hacen le dicen al profesional de taxas, quiero que le pongas gastos, o ponen gastos ellos que son demasiados y no hay pérdidas todo el tiempo. Entonces tenemos que enseñarte que esa no es la mejor manera de que tu negocio crezca. Tenemos clases, tenemos talleres que te podemos orientar. Vamos a orientar, la información te va a dar el poder de que tú puedas saber qué hacer y qué no hacer para que tu negocio esté en línea a crecer. Eso es lo que queremos para ti. Entonces, ¿a quiénes les estamos hablando? Les estamos hablando a personas que tienen negocios chicos, medianos, grandes, negocios que están desde su casa, ¿verdad? Negocios que, ahorita ya tienen problemas, que quieren salir adelante y no pueden salir adelante por una razón u otra. Negocios que no tienen problemas y que dicen, pero quiero crecer, quiero expandir mi negocio. A ti te estoy hablando. Te estoy hablando que hagas la llamada para poder escucharte y ver qué tipo de negocio tienes y cómo te vamos a ayudar, ¿verdad? Queremos ofrecerte soluciones financieras. Déjame decirte esto. El 80% de la gente pone su dinero en un banco. Y lo ponen porque se sienten seguros. Y está bien, hay gente así. ¿Ok? El problema para tu dinero es que el interés que te pueden estar pagando es muy poquito. Muy poquito. Bueno, hay un 15% de la gente que se encarga se arriesga a que su dinero gane dinero. Estamos hablando que quieren y hacen inversiones. ¿Ok? A veces ganan, a veces pierden. Pero el punto es que hagan esas inversiones, que quieren arriesgarse. Hay solamente un 15% de la gente aquí en el Valle que se arriesgan. A veces ganan, a veces pierden. Pero solamente hay un 5% de la gente, de 1.4 millones de personas aquí en el Valle, hay solamente un 5% de la gente que se asegura de nunca perder su dinero. Eso es lo que queremos enseñarte. Queremos enseñar que te aseguremos de que nunca pierdas tu dinero, que siempre lo tengas contigo. Entonces tenemos programas que te van a ayudar a saber cómo retener tu dinero y cómo tener el concepto de un banco infinito. Déjame enseñarte eso. Ok, bueno, entonces para las personas que están hablando, que hablan más español, somos bilingües, hablamos los dos lenguajes y te estamos hablando a ti que me estás escuchando, que tienes un negocio desde casa, por ejemplo, que tienes un negocio en la pulga, ¿verdad? O que tienes un negocio ya más grande, un área de un negocio de plomería, un negocio de electricidad, un negocio, una clínica, dentista, una clínica, un home-based business, un negocio de transportes, una taquería, un restaurante, todo eso. A ti te estoy hablando a que tú puedas preparar tu negocio para expansión, para préstamos, para dinero, cash, para líneas de crédito, tarjetas de crédito de negocios. El crédito de tu negocio es 20 veces más poderoso que el crédito regular personalmente. Entonces, si tú estás usando tu crédito personal, por ejemplo, para tu negocio, estás limitándote 20 veces. Necesitamos ayudarte a estructurar tu negocio para que tenga su propio crédito de negocios y que sea 20 veces más fuerte que tu crédito personal. De esa forma te vamos a ayudar. Queremos que nos marques al 956-309-2871, el número que está ahí en la pantalla, que nos marques y nos mandes un WhatsApp. En ese WhatsApp, porque muchas veces no contestamos, preferimos el WhatsApp, y yo sé que la mayoría de todos ustedes que nos están escuchando tienen WhatsApp, ¿ok? Bueno, vamos a dar una última invitación en español para las personas que están desde Bronzeville hasta Laredo. Les voy a invitar a que vengan. Necesitamos gente que trabaje con nosotros en la industria del dinero. Necesitamos gente. Si tú eres una persona que no tienes un negocio pero me estás escuchando, o tienes un negocio y quieres otro negocio, un part-time, O tienes un negocio y dices, ya no quiero esto, o tienes una carrera, yo quiero cambiar de carrera. Nosotros trabajamos en la industria del dinero. Nosotros ayudamos a familias y a negocios a que tengan acceso a dinero, a cash, a líneas de crédito. Entonces te voy a invitar, si tú estás escuchándome y quieres mandarme un mensaje de WhatsApp al 309-2871, mándame un WhatsApp. Dime, oye Roberto, yo estoy interesado en saber un poquito de cómo puedo trabajar con ustedes. También tenemos oficinas locales ya en el área de Mission, tenemos oficinas locales en McAllen, estamos por abrir en Bronzeville, estamos por abrir en Westlaco, estamos por abrir allá en Laredo también. Vamos a tener un promedio de 7 oficinas, primeras 7 oficinas abiertos en estos próximos meses. Entonces queremos que tú seas parte del equipo. Si tú estás interesado en trabajar con nosotros, pues adelante, ¿verdad? Te vamos a entrenar, te vamos a enseñar, tenemos unos talleres muy buenos para ti que quieres trabajar con nosotros. Tenemos también talleres muy buenos para familias. Déjame contarte un poquito de eso. Los talleres que tenemos para familias es, por ejemplo, los 4 pasos para comprar la casa de tus sueños. ¿Qué te parece eso? El 90% de nuestros clientes quieren personalmente, familiarmente, quieren comprar casa. Entonces nosotros tenemos los 4 pasos para que compres la casa de tus sueños y te ahorres un mínimo de $300 al mes. ¿Qué te parece a ti que no tienes un negocio, pero que dices, bueno, yo quiero comprar casa? Bueno, también tenemos ese programa. Para mucha gente que ya compró casa, tenemos un programa que se llama Paga tu casa más rápido. De 10 a 12 años más rápido. ¿Qué te parece? Te vas a ahorrar, ¿verdad? Te vas a ahorrar muchísimo dinero, $30,000, $40,000, $80,000 en los puros intereses. En el área de compra casa, ¿verdad? De comprar casa, si estás ahorrándote $300 al mes, estamos hablando de que te estás ahorrando arriba de $100,000 en la vida del préstamo de tu casa. ¿Y qué tanto tiempo tendrás que trabajar para ganar $100,000? Es la área que te vamos a ahorrar a ti. ¿Ok? En el área de de paga tu casa más rápido, bueno, te vamos a ahorrar años de estar trabajando pagando tu casa, de 10 a 12 años. Eso es lo que hacemos para ti. Si vas a comprar un vehículo, tenemos un taller que te ayuda a saber cómo comprar un vehículo y ahorrarte mínimo $200 al mes. Estamos hablando de por lo menos $6,000 en la vida del préstamo de ese vehículo que estás comprando, ya sea troca, ya sea carro, ¿verdad? Quiero decirte que el punto principal que es importante que la gente sepa es que el crédito es súper importante en Estados Unidos. El crédito ya es usado para todo. En tu crédito personal es importante tener una segunda oportunidad de restaurarlo, tener una segunda oportunidad a que estés mejor y que ahorres, que te den un mejor interés en una casa, que te den un mejor interés en un vehículo y que te ahorres $300 en una casa al mes o $200 por lo menos en un vehículo por mes. Entonces, el crédito tuyo se importa. El crédito tuyo se usa para las aseguranzas, se usa para rentar un apartamento, se usa... las novias checan el crédito de los novios, que no vayan a tener child support, ¿verdad? Eso es importante para ellos. Ellos quieren checar cómo están las tarjetas de crédito, si están todas llenas o medias llenas, o si las van a poder sacar a cenar, ¿verdad? Salir a cenar y todo eso. Entonces, por eso es importante tu crédito. O sea, ¿qué es lo que necesitas hacer? Mándanos un mensaje de WhatsApp al 956-309-2871. Te vamos a ayudar a restaurar, tener una segunda oportunidad de crédito. Déjame decirte, estaba hablando sobre el crédito de negocios, que es 20 veces más poderoso que el crédito regular normal. Si tú tienes un negocio y estás usando tu crédito personal, bueno, estás limitando tu negocio. Queremos que puedas tú poder tener crédito de negocios y tener 20 veces más poderoso tu crédito. Bueno, ¿qué es lo que tienes que hacer? Otra vez, marcarnos al 309-2871 aquí en el Valle. Te vamos a hacer una cita, ya sea por teléfono, por Zoom o que vengas en persona a nuestras oficinas. Pero necesitas mandarnos ese mensajito. Otra de las cosas que quiero decirte, hay muchas personas que tienen problemas de deudas. Tienen problemas de deudas, tienen problemas de préstamos. Acabamos de ayudar a una persona que tiene 16 financieras, ¿verdad? Piden un prestamito aquí, y luego otro prestamito allá, y luego otro más allá, y otro más allá. Pues quedan endeudados totalmente. Imagínate que tener en esta persona, tener que estar pagando $2,500 de pagos cada mes. Ese dinero que agarraron, que pidieron prestado, 34,000 y algo de dólares, ya no lo tienen, lo gastaron pagando la luz, pagando esto, pagando lo otro. Entonces ahora tienen que hacer los pagos y está pagando $2,500 al mes. Imagínate eso. Entonces el programa de nosotros, el programa Adiós Deudas, lo que hace es te ayuda a confrontar y a negociar esas deudas. Imagínate bajar tu pago de $2,500 a $639 y que en unos cuantos meses, en un acuerdo de tantos meses, ya no debas nada de esos $34,000. Imagínate eso. Eso mismo podemos hacer para ti. Estamos diciendo que si tú tienes préstamos financieros personales que agarraste y que ya no pudiste pagarlos, que ya no puedes pagarlos en el presente o que ya no pudiste pagarlos en el pasado, te podemos ayudar. Es necesario confrontar tu deuda. Te voy a decir por qué es necesario. Tu salud financiera necesita ser restablecida y la única forma, paso número 1, es confrontar y negociar esas deudas que tienes pendientes ahí para poder ir al segundo paso, a un mejor crédito. Te voy a decir que si tú vienes y nos marcas al 956-309-2871, fíjate esto, si tú tienes deudas, te vamos a ayudar con el primer paso, la confrontación y la negociación de tus deudas. El segundo paso es que tengas un mejor crédito. El tercer paso es que tú hagas o ganes miles de dólares con tu crédito. Esa es otra cosa, mucha gente no lo sabe, pero nosotros ganamos, perdón, miles de dólares con nuestro crédito. Voy a tomar un poquito de agua. Entonces, si tú tienes un negocio chiquito o mediano o grande, te podemos ayudar. Déjame decirte, algunas personas tienen préstamos y no los pudieron pagar o los están pagando y no pueden. Algunas personas tienen biles médicos. Tienen biles médicos y no saben qué hacer. Me dio la tos, muchachos, so voy a toser un poquito. Ahorita andamos con alergias. Ya estamos mejor. Algunas personas tienen tarjetas de crédito. Y las tarjetas de crédito están hasta el copete, están hasta mero arriba, los balances están muy altos. Y no pueden pagarlos. Das el paguito y sigue subiendo la tarjeta de crédito. Y eso pues no se vale, ¿verdad? Por los altos intereses. Entonces te podemos ayudar. En el programa Dios Deudas te podemos ayudar a confrontar, a negociar la deuda y que tengas una segunda oportunidad a un mejor crédito. Me dio la tos muy fuerte. El área de lo que es español. Me llamo Roberto Saldívar. Trabajamos con el grupo EBC Group. Aquí de McAllen tenemos oficinas y estamos trabajando con todo el valle, desde Bronzeville hasta Laredo. Y te voy a decir, si conoces a alguien que dice, bueno, escucha mejor en inglés, todo eso, la siguiente programación va a ser en inglés y vamos a hacerlo para la gente que tiene un negocio o quiere expandir su negocio. Lo vamos a estar hablando en inglés también, ¿ok? En la siguiente. Muchas gracias por estar escuchándonos y nos vemos en inglés en unos momentos más. Hello everyone, welcome to our EBC group channel. And if you are a person that has a small business and you want or need access to cash and lines of credit, if you're that person that need either your small business or a bigger business, let's just say a plumbing company, electrical company, a restaurant, a taqueria, you're that person or you know someone that has a business like that, these few minutes, this information is going to be super important for you. What are we going to do? We're going to give you information that will empower you to have access to lines of credit and cash. And let me tell you what, if you're also a business that have employees and have had employees in 2019, 2020, we're also going to be talking to you about free money from the government. So stay tuned here, and we're going to start with our first guest. Our first guest, his name is Cesar Saenz. Please welcome to the EBC channel at this time. Cesar,
Thank you very much, Robert. Yes. Good morning to everybody. We're going to be here sharing a little bit of information in regards to everything that we have at the office, the EBC group, here locally on McAllen, Texas. And we're going to be talking to you guys again, finance, information on how to acquire funds, depending on what kind of business and structure that you currently have. And like Robert has mentioned, we have a program right now for anybody that had employees during the 2019-2020, which is called the ERC. It's Employment Retention Credit, which is free money, Robert, actually. It's
Definitely.
a grant. This is money that you can acquire for the business for every employee that you still maintained employed during the pandemic.
Yes.
And you can get rewarded pretty much for not letting them go. Yes,
we
sir.
have a few businesses that have taken advantage of this. We have a business that have 10 employees, and the maximum amount of money that you can get is up to $26,000 per employee. So imagine this, only a company with 10 employees is getting $260,000 free money. You don't have to pay it back. So the same opportunity is for you. If you're a company like another company that we have 100 employees, it's $2.6 million for that company, free money. You don't have to pay it back. So that's the same opportunity that you need to have, that you can call us. I'm going to give you the number. The number is going to be on the screen. You can give us a call or give us a WhatsApp message. It works as well. Very good. So we can talk to you and make an appointment. Even it could be on Zoom, it could be on the phone, or it could be in person in our local office here in McAllen. Now we are helping people all the way from Brownsville all the way to Laredo. So if you have a business from that area to Brownsville all the way to Laredo, well, give us a call. Give us a call to 956-309-2871. This is the phone. You're going to connect to us, and we're going to give you information that is going to help you get this grant money, free money. You don't have to pay it back, okay? So what is it, more or less, Cesar, that we need to do in order for them to pre-qualify? What is it?
Sure. So there's a couple of things, right? We got to make sure that the company, is structured correctly, and we got to look at, see if you have a payroll account system, so that way we can look at all the information that's required. Our CPAs would look and evaluate the company, and make sure that you did also have some kind of a restriction or a loss when it comes to the operating of the business. If you had to shut down earlier than before because of the COVID, because of the pandemic, if you were technically affected, which I think a lot of businesses were affected during this pandemic. And so we have that opportunity. If you guys haven't taken advantage of the ERC program, we did help as well, like we mentioned last time in the other meeting about the SBAs. We are still doing extensions for those that can qualify for that on the EIDL loans, but right now the ERC credit is the one that everybody is taking advantage of this program. And we do have here Ray, one of my other business partners and a friend of mine that we wanted to bring on board. So he is going to be talking and sharing a little bit about his experience with business, because he does have some businesses, and just kind of the experience of what it is, once you start leveraging, like we've talked about before, Robert, making sure that we put, credit to work for us. All right. And so that's a little bit of something that we're going to be, moving forward this Zoom or this meeting right now that we have. Mm-hmm.
Before we invite Raylan to talk to us a little bit about his testimony and everything, let me tell you that during this time, during last year, let me tell you a little bit about last year. Mm-hmm. Last year, a lot of businesses took advantages of the ADL program.
Yes.
We had businesses that got $500,000 loan, and it was like almost free money, 3.75%, things like that, 18 months, no payments, things like that. So there was a lot of people that got that money, $250,000, $500,000, even some $2 million. Okay, correct, guys. So if you didn't take advantage of that, you gotta give us a call. Give us a message, a WhatsApp message. Let's connect with your business, because we are getting ready to maybe even open that program again. Maybe. Correct. So if the maybe becomes a reality in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, then we already connected. We are already connected with you. We're going to be talking to you. We're going to say we got more money for you, right? Definitely. If you had a PPP loan and you haven't filled out the information to forgive you that loan, you better call us. Call us at 956-309-2871. Send us a message. We're going to be talking to you how we can actually help you not to pay that PPP loan. It's forgivable loan, so it's information. So fantastic. Let's talk about the next subject. How important it is for us to have a testimony like Ray here to talk to us about what has happened. And so introduce him again and tell him what he's going to be talking about, please.
Of course. So I brought a guest again, guys, here to the opportunity with his name is Ray, and he'll present his business. We have a couple different things that we're currently working together. One of them is in the construction, and so again, we're going to be sharing a little bit of information how to start getting into real estate, Robert, with you leveraging your credit, right? Using the opportunities that we have right now with these business credit cards and business funding, right? And making sure that everybody understands the growth and what you need to do to structure that correctly. Ray has been following everything. He is in one of the programs that we currently are moving forward with his company, and it's just right now acquiring more funds and then putting those funds for the expansion of the actual growth of his business. But he has perfect, excellent credit. Have we been talking about your personal credit is very, very important, guys, when it comes to business funding. Okay, if the business is not established and has no business credit yet, you will be the personal guarantor. So your credit has to be, if not excellent, in a very, very good standing. But we do have Ray. He's been following everything, every step that we've been, putting on there for him to do, and he's been able to maximize on that. And currently, he does have that already working for him. So we want him to share a little bit of his experience and, with the program, Ray, if you would mind, and then just kind of express, everything else that you kind of know a little bit about credit and how you actually also, came and grew up with that. I shared my experience of how my mom burnt my credit when I was was young, and I had to learn from those mistakes, not being able to lend that credit to anybody else anymore, and making sure that we get together as a unit and be able to continue growing together. So I want him to also share that for us.
Go ahead. All right. Yeah, how y'all doing? My name is Raylan Chanette. Ray. My company is Ray at Your Service. It's a little play on words. It's RAYS, Raylan Chanette. So Ray at Your Service. It's a company that primarily deals in real estate. Developing, buying, rental property, multifamily, single homes, and also we're also bleeding into commercial. Correct. We're trying to go ahead and expand and not just put ourselves in a box. We're trying to have different types of businesses that we know that's going to generate income. So the main important thing with my business is to also help people. After meeting Caesar with him and his ideas, his dreams of what he want to do, just the credit repair. I know a lot of people that has horrible credit. And the only reason my credit was good is because my grandmother instilled that in me since I was, not even a teenager, saying that in this world, credit is everything. So if you have bad credit, you won't really be able to get far. So I kind of just took that to heart and then, just started from there. So I always maintain a good relationship with my credit and stuff. But as far as the program goes, I met Caesar. I was a little skeptical. I mean, a lot of people comes in and they hearing something that sounds too good to be true, and it's like, But so every time I would meet Caesar, he would tell me about the credit and try to get me to do more things. And just little by little, I'm taking his advice, but I'm still just kind of holding back, being reserved until things start happening. Until I started getting approved for a lot of credit cards, a lot of business credit, a lot of business line of credit for a cash line. So I'm like, okay. So after that, more and more, I'm listening to him, and I'm going back and follow the steps. And yeah, I was able to get approved for more homes to go ahead and buy, like more bank loans to build more multifamily units. And I don't know, I just started telling more people about it, and it just more and more opportunities was coming. And also my finances has been growing as well. Excuse me. I would never think that within a small period of time I would end up getting like $30 or $40 and $50,000 and more loans coming in. And then I was super nervous about once I get those loans, how I'm going to pay them off. Because I'm like, this is a lot of debt.
That's when good debt comes into play.
But then all of a sudden, after acquiring the loans and getting like a 0% interest for the first annual year, then we end up using the funds and end up getting the returns, end up paying them off. And then the banks, credit card companies are like, okay, let me increase your spending power. And that kept on increasing. And then before you know it, it's like, hey, got over $150,000 of a credit line and cash and stuff, all of that combined. I'm like, oh, okay. So it just, once you kind of experience it and go through the little steps, you kind of like, what else can I do? So I get real curious, like, man, how far can I really go? And then also Caesar just kind of, we have a little small group, a team, so we talk about just being like our own bank, becoming millionaires and stuff. And
correct.
A lot of people may think about being a millionaire, but they don't think about the process that it takes to become a millionaire.
Yes.
And even though I'm still far from it, I'm on the road to becoming one. So fantastic. it's you get nervous. It is a scary, but it is a little exciting journey.
Well, let me tell you. Many things you've said. I want to go touch on some of them. One of the big things that you write, a lot of people do not understand how credit works, but somebody has to teach you. And in this case, Ray was taught by his grandmother about credit, and that is a lucky, out of 100 people, possibly one, and you're the lucky one that you got taught about credit. So look at this. This is what we do. We are a group of friends, EBC group.
We're called EBC Group. The one thing is, if you're watching this program, we want you to come. We want you to come to here, because one of the big things that people have is people are scared. People are scared of moving in this kind of industry, the money industry. Let the money work for us. That's what's happening. You know what? We are going to give you seminars. We're going to get together. We're going to talk about what is bad debt and what is good debt. And that's one of the things. I want you to be comfortable, to feel comfortable with having more money coming to you, to everybody, to you that you're watching us, and then put that money to work. So we are giving you different strategies. You're going to learn with us. We're going to go together in this big swimming pool of money, and the vision is for you to become a millionaire. Okay, now you have a business, you have a small business, you want to expand your business, give us a try. Start working with us. Give us a phone call, give us a message, a WhatsApp message, and let's get together. Let's get together to show you who we are, what is it that we do, and with this kind of financial principles, we're going to take you to the next level. Ray was also talking about that he's getting more money's coming in, and what we do is we create options to strategize how your money can work for you. So one of the big things for us is we want to make sure that you listen to Ray, to what he said, how he felt about how he's working on his process of becoming a $1 million man, or multi-million dollar man. You know what? And it is possible when you are together. You know, associations is the number one thing that you gotta do. Is you gotta associate with the people that are going where you want to go. That's number one thing. Number two is you gotta learn from that association. You gotta start. Oh, what is it that we're learning? The concepts that we're learning. But the next step is we got to take action. It's like, okay, my credit is bad. Okay, it's not fantastic, but hey, let's go repair it. Yes. So we have tools to help you repair your credit. Now we're going through the steps. There are 7 steps, and I put 4, right? 4 and 3, 7 steps that is going to take you to the $1 million mark. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to show you the 7 steps. We want to be friends. We want to be with you. So if you have a business, you have a small business. Let's get back to that, to the area. If you have a small business, sometimes people have a home-based business, right? And many times people are having a business, or what they consider a business, in the flea market. It's okay, no problem. Some people have a plumbing business, electrical business, a construction business, you're a realtor. You have a restaurant. You have a home and health, healthcare.
Correct.
Different businesses. What we want to do is we want to connect with you, to see what you have, and then to discover the possibilities of your own business. That's why it's important for you to give us a call, for you to drop us a message on WhatsApp, and we'll connect with you via Zoom, via telephone, via person to person in our local office, okay? Correct. So we're going to schedule a meeting with you. One of the big problems, Cesar, that people have is that people start with sole proprietorship. Correct. Or even just a DBA.
Or a DBA.
Okay? And it is time for you to expand your business. You need to switch. You need to change to structure your business correctly. So what is it that they can do, Cesar?
Sure. So that is correct, Robert. A lot of the people that we have been helping and been structuring some of these strategies for their business, they are doing it as a sole prop, but DBA, right? And so doing business it's a little bit difficult when it comes to funding because you can reach a limit. You can cap yourself out because they're using your personal income. And so that's when the DTI comes into play, debt to income ratio, where the banks will not probably lend you more funds because they know that you're not able to pay on those amounts, right? And so when you're looking to expand, you got to make sure that you convert your DBA to an LLC, at least, limited liability corporation, and of course use your EIN number to start receiving some of these funds. And you're going to start off slow. You're going to start off with maybe $20,000-$30,000 as a line of credit because the banks need to see how you've been actually able to pay your debts in the past. And since you're the personal guarantor of your business, they want to make sure that you have personal credit that is good. good, that you don't have too much debt as well on your personal credit. So when I talk about that, I always use this example. A lot of us sometimes use our personal credit to help our family in a way where we go and co-sign for their vehicles. So what happens is you sometimes might have 2 or 3 vehicles on your personal credit, and that's too much debt, even though you might not be paying for that, because you can tell the banker, hey, I got this car out for my cousin and he's the one paying the car, but it's under your personal as a co-signer. So you're going to hit those walls where they're not going to want to lend you any more funds, because it seems like you're not going to be able to pay that new money if you acquire it. And so when you start moving everything to the business side of things, business credit does not report on your personal credit. And that's where I encourage people to start leasing or buying vehicles under the business, making sure that the business is building up its business credit so that you can always remove yourself in the future, and you're not going to have to be the personal guarantor for that debt that's acquired under the business, Robert. And that's very, very important to be able to structure that correctly at an early age. I've met a lot of business owners, Robert, and as Ray knows, that have had an LLC, have had a DBA for 10 years.
Yes,
and all the missed opportunity of them actually acquiring funds has, been out the window because they didn't start correctly when they should have, done this at the beginning. And so
the sooner you contact us, the sooner you can start moving forward on expansion of your business. That's one thing. But let's talk more about the credit. Let's talk more about personal credit first, Cesar. Let's talk about the story that you have, where you went through, and then let's talk about that business credit. Moving to business credit is 20 times more powerful than just regular personal credit. Sure. So tell us about the story.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit of the story from last time, guys. So when I was young, when I was 18, my mom actually, when I graduated, she got out 3 credit cards under my name, or I got out 3 credit cards, for the actual purpose of remodeling the house for my mom. And when I was 18, of course, my mom and my parents were already burned with their light companies, with the phone bill companies, the services, the direct TVs and all that. So they put all that under my credit. I didn't understand the importance of how, credit would work and how it was going to impact me in my future. I didn't have like a grandma that, understood the system. So like Ray here, and my parents, were the opposite. Because that's the mentality that we have, and as Hispanic, right, we didn't learn how to use it properly. And so when my mom asked me to get these credit cards out for her, this was back in 2006, 2007, when I graduated. Well, guess what? A year later, the economy started collapsing, right, because of the housing market, the bubble that we had. And so my mom lost her job, and I still had about $9,000 worth of debt on those cards that I had gotten out to remodel the house. I had a good job, and I was working as a vet tech. I could have paid off that, or continue paying on those cards, but I thought to myself, well, that's not my debt, right? That's my mom's debt, and I let those credit cards go. And so what happened is, my parents told me, or my mom told me, like, hey, don't worry, nothing happens. They're not going to come, and they're not going to, arrest you. I was like, yeah, they're not. But the thing is, all the doors started closing, right? So when I wanted to apply for new things or get a car or anything like that under my name, well, I already had a bad credit score and I wasn't getting approved. And so fast forward 3 or 4 years, when that happened, I ended up getting to, wanting to purchase a house. And when I went to the bank, the banker told me, Cesar, you have everything, you have the down payment, you have the, 2 months of bank statements, the 2 check stubs, the, 2 years of tax returns, but you have a 485, and I need you at a 580 credit score or above in order for you to qualify. And so I told her, well, what's the next step? Well, you need to go fix your credit. And that's when I went to a local business here. This was about 13, 14 years ago. And I ended up, paying about $1,500 for the service. And they were able to remove my $9,000 worth of debt from these 3 credit cards that were in collections within about 2 months. And so I remember my scores jumping from a 485 to a 735, being an excellent, and I was like, wow, this is something very, very powerful if you learn how to use it. Because at that point, when I had a credit score of a 735, the lady that repaired my credit said, well, you have a thin file. What I recommend is we get you some cards, but not the retail cards that you had gotten before. Get the cards that are going to give you rewards, like your Amex, your Visas, Discover. And she applied me for about 3 credit cards in 5 minutes, and she got me like $18,000 at 0%, guys. 12 months, 14 months, Robert. And that's when a little light bulb went into my head. I was like, man, I work all year to make, $35,000. I was able to acquire $18,000 at 0%, for a year in 5 minutes. I was like, wow, what else can I actually learn and actually look into doing with my credit? And that's when everything started for me. I understood that I had to create a business, because when I learned that business credit is, like Robert says, 20 times more powerful and it doesn't report to your personal, everything changed. And I was able to partner up with my father's business. That was the first company that I actually started and was able to partner up. And then since then, I've opened up about 3 more, to a total of 5 right now, actually 4 more to a total of 5 that I have. But I've been able to leverage those companies, so that I can get more funds and continue the expansion, like Robert says, and then get rewarded. One of the big plus that we have as having businesses is using credit cards to get rewards and points, which points, Robert, are non-taxable. And we've been talking about it with Ray, and we start seeing...
That's another seminar for the people that are watching us.
Of course. That's a huge bonus,
Free money, you guys. Free money,
exactly.
Non-taxable.
Non-taxable, which at the end of the year, you can use the rewards anytime. And at the end of the year, I like to accumulate. We like to pile them up within all our credit cards. And American Express, if you know, American Express actually allows you to gather all the points from all these other credit cards that you have and put them in one. And there's ways, that you can also cash out and convert that into cash instead of using it for just trips or hotels. But again, like you said, those are more advanced strategies and advanced techniques that we can later one-on-one be able to do that. But guys, business credit, I love it. I've always been very passionate once I discovered, and I can see the opportunity, as well as a lot of the people that, like Ray said, that we have in our group. We're all helping each other grow. We like to make sure that everybody is educated in this field. Like you said, Robert, this is financial literacy. We don't really learn this either in school, sometimes even in college, guys. We can go to school, but if we're not really in that industry, right? If you're going to be an architect, if you're going to be an engineer, it comes back where, yes, you might get approved for, loans at, student loans and, get out, but it's the financial part of it. Is how do you pay this money back if you don't get a job, or if how do you get your taxes done correctly. And like I've always said, everybody needs credit and everybody needs taxes, and so we can't escape that. So we got to make sure that we're at least somewhat educated a little bit in those areas to be able to benefit from that.
Definitely.
I want to know if to kind of address the people about fear, because as you know, fear stops a lot of us from doing things that we know we should be doing or we have a good feeling about, but it holds us back because debt. Debt, or what if this person is going to screw over us, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I came across people that end up getting loans or getting good credit, and it's like, okay, I don't want to do this because I don't have a business to invest this in.
Yes.
And it's like, well, dude, me being in the military, so it's kind of like, I'd rather have my gun and not be able to use it than I need it and not end up having it. So the same thing with the the credit and the money. It's like, I'd rather have the money and the credit and not know what to do with it, instead of something coming along and it's like, okay, I don't have it, because it takes a lot longer process to obtain it than to go ahead and find something to invest it in. So and just find somebody that you can partner up with, that you can you really trust, or like I say, they can contact us.
Definitely.
To where it's like, hey, look, we don't get anywhere by screwing over people. No. Because right now everything is all about word of mouth, all about testimonies, because that's the one why I'm here. Because Caesar known me for almost 3 years now, and I'm always just a little bit. I don't know you. I don't really trust you. But the more I learn, the more I got to know. It's like, okay, cool. So that's just something.
Let me tell you one thing about that. It is very true. There are 3 kinds of people. 3 kinds of people. The people that have not been educated about how money works. And that's one of the big things, money and credit. You need to learn how to leverage that. How are you going to do that? By getting connected with people that are already doing it, like in this case, Caesar and Ray, and myself. Let me tell you one thing. If you're that person, give us a call, get in contact. We got some seminars, we got one-on-ones, we got group meetings, and we can talk to you, and you can learn how. But there's another kind of people, Ray, another kind of people, and these are the people that are getting taught to cut credit cards. Not to use, not to be in debt. Okay, and it's okay if you are that person, if you want to stay there, cutting off the credit cards, not being able to take advantage, make thousands of dollars with your credit. you can stay there. If you don't feel comfortable by doing that, you can cut off your credit cards. You can do that. You no need to get loans, no need to get into bad debt, no need to protect your financial future. You can stay there. You can stay there, okay? I know there are some people that talk about it, English and Spanish. Okay, they talk about you cutting off your credit cards. You can do that if you want, because you don't. That's the kind of fear. You know, it's like having a Mercedes on your garage and not using it. Basically, that's what it is. You have a Mercedes there, and you're fearful of driving it. You know, those are the kind of people that if you don't want to call us, if you don't want to make that step, we understand. You can stay there, right? And then there are these other kind of people, Ray and Cesar. These other kind of people, the people that are, you know what, I'm tired of working and making money and spending money. Working, making money, spending money. I don't want to work anymore, or I want to work more intelligently. That's the name of the game. Let me put the money work for me. That's the reasoning here. Let me put the money work for me, so I don't have to work. I just have to manage it. I have to manage that. Correct. So if that is the thinking that you have, that you're watching us and you have this thinking is, how can I do that? You know, I've been working 8 years, 10 years, 12 years out on the refineries. And you know what? I'm losing my time with my kids. I'm losing my time with my family. I'm losing my time seeing my kids play ball, play basketball, play soccer. And because I'm out there on the snow, on the rain, on the sun, and that's the only way I can make it, because that's the only way I can make it more money. Let me tell you, a couple of days ago, we met a person that has been working on the refineries for 8 years.
Correct.
And he says, I go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, and then comes back. And then he comes for a week, and then it says, okay, so how much you making? He says, I'm making about $120,000. And says, you know what? So you already made very close to $1 million. And he said, he thought about it, and he said, yeah, I made $1 million. So I asked him, the question I'm going to be asking you is, where's the money? Where's the money?
Correct.
I spend it. It's gone. You know, you might have the same answer for me. If you have your business and you make $150,000 last year in your business, you pay in taxes, you know, you're just getting ready to pay taxes and all that. And then the question is, where is that money? See, with us, what we are doing is we're helping you keep the money, spend the money, keep the money, right? So it is like people are not going to be able to understand it, right? It says, you know what? I don't understand what you said, Robert. Okay, why? Why? I tell you why. Because 80% of the people put their money in the bank. They put it there because they feel secure. And it's okay if you're one of them, but you have an opportunity to switch your mindset. You know what? We got 15% of the people they say, you know what? I want to risk a little bit.